So you want to know how to get a personal loan with little to no credit, right? Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you're to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I'm going to explain to you, step by step, how to get a personal loan with little to no credit. Sometimes you need money to cover an unexpected expense like a big medical bill or to prevent a small issue from causing larger ones, right? If you need a car repair, for example. If you can't wait to get the money, then a small loan could be the answer to your financial prayers. But can you get one if you don't have credit history? It's possible to get a small loan without having a credit history or having a little credit history, but you may be hit with higher than normal interest rates and unfavorable loan terms. So the first thing I want you to do now is to understand why you don't have a credit score yet. Not having a credit score doesn't necessarily mean you have bad credit. This is very important to understand. It simply means that the credit bureaus don't have enough information about your credit history for a credit score to be assigned. So perhaps you don't have any credit accounts, or you only have one or two and are deemed to have a thin credit file. So common reasons you might not have a credit score include you've never used traditional credit accounts, you haven't used credit within the past 24 months, and you are a recent immigrant. So those are the three main reasons why you may not have you may have a thin credit file. You could also have a thin file if you are young and new to the credit world, if you have very few credit accounts that you haven't kept active, that you have been recently widowed or divorced, or if you shun credit and mainly use cash. So let's just say that if you have never used traditional credit accounts, this could be a little situation here because credit reports keep track of your interactions with credit and debt. If you've never taken out any type of loan and have never had a credit card, you will not have a credit history that scoring models can access. And credit bureaus also need to see activity on your credit accounts to generate a score. So ensure your accounts remain active by using each of your credit cards occasionally and paying the bill on time. It's all about a little activity. A little activity is better than no activity, folks. So, step number one, understand why you don't have a credit score yet and how to generate one. Number two, you need to know your options. If you're trying to get a personal loan with little to no credit, you got to know your option. Most small loans are personal loans. And so while auto loans and mortgage loans are designed for specific purchases, a personal loan can be used for just about anything you can imagine. So unlike a car loan or mortgage loan, which uses the car or house itself as collateral, a personal loan is usually unsecured, meaning you don't have to put up collateral. That makes your credit score even more important because you want the lender to trust you as a credit-worthy borrower. So the thing here is that if you want to get a personal loan with little to no credit, you want to look for lenders that consider other factors not included in your credit report, such as your employment history, income from pay stubs or tax returns, bank account balances, and debt to income ratio. It's often easier to get a personal loan from a credit union than from a bank, because educating and supporting members in managing their finances is actually part of a credit union's mission, and the credit unions tends to be more flexible about their loan criteria. So if you have a local credit union, it's kind of cool to actually check them out first. So to apply for a credit union loan, you need to join the credit union, generally by opening an account and making a deposit. Step number two, know your options. Step number three, you want to consider specific types of loans. If you're trying to get a personal loan with little to no credit, it's great to actually consider specific types of loans. What are those? There are two. You have online loans and you have peer-to-peer loans, P2P loans. Online loans can be a good option for borrowers without credit because these lenders have no physical locations you can visit and operate entirely online. Lower overhead allows them to offer lower interest rates than banks, and online lenders often specialize in particular types of loans, such as personal loans, and they also have less stringent criteria for making a loan than banks. So the application process takes about 2 to 3 minutes, and if approved, you can sometimes get your money, guess what, as fast as the same day. That's fantastic. And then you have the peer-to-peer loans. Those are available from a subset of online lenders called the peer-to-peer lending platforms. And these sites match potential borrowers with individual investors who want to make loans. So Prosper, Lending Club, and Peerform are popular peer-to-peer lending sites. So folks, if you're trying to get a personal loan with little to no credit, number one, understand why you don't have a credit score yet and how to generate it. Number two, know your options. Number three, consider specific types of loans. Number four, avoid some kinds of loans if you can. Very important. I'm going to give you a few types of loans that you got to avoid if you can. While there are trustworthy lenders that offer no credit history loans, there are also predatory lenders to watch out for. Three other types of small loans. We have payday loans, title loans, and pawn shop loans are easy to get with no credit, but those three loans should be avoided. Many states restrict or forbid these loans. These types of loans often charge astronomically high interest rates and fees. Sometimes we've seen in our analysis 300 to 600% APR. Think about that. APR stands for the annual percentage rate. And they also have ways, those lenders, they have ways of keeping you trapped in debt for even longer. For example, some payday lenders allow you to roll your balance into another loan if you can't pay it off by the due date. This means your debt can continue snowballing with higher fees that could be even harder to pay off by the next due date. So your payments on these types of loans are also generally now reported to the credit bureaus, meaning they will not even help you build credit that could help you qualify for better loans in the future. So folks, ultimately, these loans are not worth it unless you really need it, unless it is an absolute last resort. Okay, so again, I want to specify payday loans, title loans, pawn shop loans. So payday loans are available online or at physical payday loan stores. Since there is usually no credit check, these loans can sound alluring to those who don't have a credit history and need cash quickly. However, the fees are high. I already said that. What about title loans? If you own your car outright, you may be able to use the vehicle, as collateral on a title loan. So title loans are often available without a credit check. You can keep using your car while you have the loan, but the lender can repo the car, can take possession of the car if you fail to make payments. And then you have the pawn shop loans. And the pawn shop loan is a secured short-term loan you can get from a pawn shop. So these loans don't require a credit check or have any specific requirements other than the item you leave as collateral for the loan. So you'll typically walk away with around 25 to 60 to 75% of the pawn item's value, with the average loan being $75 to $100. Okay, I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation today about how to get a personal loan with little to no credit. Number one, understand why you don't have a credit score yet and how to generate it. Number two, know your options. Number three, consider specific types of loans. Number four, please avoid some kinds of loans. And number five, know where to apply for small personal loans. The thing is that you can apply for a small personal loan at banks, credit unions, or online. Begin by investigating which lenders offer personal loans for those with little to no credit history. You may want to start with your current bank or a credit union you belong to. I've already said that. And once you narrow down your options, it's time to apply. You may have to make a call or pay the lender an in-person visit at some point in the process, but most lenders let you at least start the application process online and get actually a pre-qualified for a loan that way. Pre-qualification provides you with the estimated loan amounts, cost, and terms you can use to compare lenders. And the cool thing about pre-qualification is that pre-qual does not affect your credit score. Okay, it does not. And some lenders do not require a credit check, or they will use alternative data to help them determine your loan eligibility. They'll actually, what they're doing is they're trying to evaluate your credit worthiness through alternative data. So once you find a lender you like, remember, to find the lender, you have to think about banks, credit unions, right? Online lenders and P2P lenders. And we have a whole database of shows on that subject. So please just browse through our playlist, and you can have the videos there. So once you actually find a lender that you like, you can move ahead with the application process. When comparing personal loans, please look at the following factors: interest rates, loan terms, fees, and other charges. Very important. This trifecta is very important. Again, interest rates. So lenders express interest rates as an APR that includes interest, fees, and other costs. So most lenders they actually provide a range for their current loan APRs. Just keep in mind that with no credit, you are likely to be charged at the higher end of that range. APR stands for annual percentage rate. What about loan terms? Personal loans are short-term loans and generally must be repaid within 12 to 60 months, so 1 to 5 years. What about fees and other charges? So you want to find out if origination fees and other costs will be taken out of your loan proceeds, and if there is a prepayment penalty for paying the loan back early. So this is something you have to think about when analyzing, when comparing and contrasting lenders. The next thing I want you to do, if you are trying to get a personal loan with little to no credit, I want you to work on establishing credit. And that's if you have no credit history. Very important, because this can help you in the future. Even if you are able to secure a small loan with no credit, it is extremely essential to establish and build a credit history. Down the road, you'll likely want to apply for more credit to accomplish other life goals, right? Such as, say, buying a car or a house. So if you think about it, having a credit history will make it a lot easier to get approved for these loans. So there are let me give you a few tips you can implement rather, to establish credit, to improve your credit score. You can apply for a secured credit card. You can actually become an authorized user. You can monitor your credit score and report. And actually, if there are any issues, if there are any errors, you can actually contact either the data provider or the credit bureau to have them fix the issue. By credit bureaus, I'm referring to Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. And another way to establish credit is to take out a small secure loan or a credit builder loan. So let's talk about secured credit card pretty quickly. A secured credit card is secured by a refundable security deposit. So you can make charges up to the amount of your deposit minus any fees. And secured credit cards are designed to help people establish or improve their credit. So because the credit card issuer can tap into your deposit if you can't pay your balance, the lender is actually pretty confident extending credit even if you don't have a credit history. And before applying for a secured credit card though, make sure it will report your payments to the national credit bureaus. Okay, and build your credit by using the card sparingly every month, paying your bill on time, and making sure your credit utilization ratio does not climb too high. You really want to aim to keep it below 30%, but the lower the better. And so in terms of one thing you also want to think about is you want to monitor your credit score and report to see if your credit building efforts are working. Get a free credit report and watch as your on-time payments start to flesh out your file. It takes about 3 to 6 months for your FICO score to be calculated. At that point, you want to check your credit score to see where it stands. And there is a website called annualcreditreport.com. And on that website, you can download a free copy of your credit report once a year. Step number 7, if you're trying to get a personal loan with little to no credit, you want to consider alternatives to no credit small loans. What are those? Basically, if you don't have a credit history, we all know applying for a personal loan is not your only option. Let me give you a few other alternatives for getting the money you need. If you still have a hard time qualifying for a personal loan with no credit history, you want to see if someone will co-sign on a loan with you. Consider borrowing money from friends or family members. Yes, this will not help you increase your credit score, but listen, it's all about getting the cash right away because you have some needs, right? You also want to look to nonprofit programs for help. For example, if you are in the military or a family member of someone who is, you might qualify for assistance from a military aid society. For example, the Army Emergency Relief, the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society, Air Force Aid Society, and Coast Guard Mutual Assistance. Those organizations offer service members in need grants and interest-free loans. And if you're not affiliated with the military, local community service agencies and charitable organizations sometimes provide loans or financial assistance. You can also ask your employer for a cash advance. It really depends on the relationship you have with your boss, but it is totally possible. Now, this is a cash advance from your employer should not be confused with a payday loan. A paycheck advance is a cash advance from your employer that is repaid through deductions from future paychecks. Some employers offer this service, often through third-party lending companies, and generally, all employees are eligible for the same interest rates and loan terms no matter what their credit score. And the bonus here is that if the third-party company your employer uses reports to the major credit bureaus, repaying your paycheck advance can help improve your credit score. Just make sure you understand the interest, fees, and repayment terms. You can also apply for a secure loan. So while many personal loans are unsecured, some lenders also offer secured personal loans that require collateral, such as a car or other valuable item. And these types of loans are less risky for the lender, which could make it easier to get approved even if you don't have a credit history. So a secured personal loan might also come with lower interest rates compared to unsecured loans. And one thing I also want to tell you is that if you sign up for automatic payments, you might get a rate discount, often 0.25%, depending on the lender. So something you want to keep in mind. Step number 8. If you want to get a personal loan with little to no credit, you need to pick the right lender for you. And several lenders offer bad credit loans. However, having bad credit still means you have some sort of credit history. And what we've seen here is that if you have no credit history at all yet, you likely don't even have a credit score. In this case, you'll need to find a lender that lets you potentially qualify in a different way besides just your credit. And here are some lenders that offer personal loans to borrowers with no credit history. So we have Avant. So with Avant, you can borrow $2,000 to $35,000 if you have little to no credit history. They also cater to people with bad credit history also. And Avant offers flexible credit requirements, which could make it easier to qualify if you have poor, little, or no credit history. We also have Lending Point. And Lending Point specializes in working with borrowers with near prime credit scores or no credit scores, and might also be willing to work with borrowers who have a thin credit file. In addition to credit, Lending Points will also consider your employment and annual income. We also have One Main Financial, and unlike some personal loan lenders, One Main Financial offers both unsecured and secured personal loans. So if you opt for a secure loan, you'll need to provide collateral like a car, boats, or RV. And a secure loan might be easier to qualify for if you don't have a credit history. And if you are approved, you will need to visit a branch office in person to discuss your options. And we also have Upstart. The cool thing about Upstart is that if you don't have a credit score at all, Upstart could be a great choice. They use machine learning to what they call price credit, meaning you could qualify if your education and job history demonstrate potential that's not reflected in your credit score. So Upstart is one of the latest fintech companies that are using artificial intelligence and machine learning to actually extend credit. So we're showing you right now a recap on the screen, a recap that might be very helpful to you. So we have Avant, we have a Lending Point, we have One Main Financial, and we have Upstart. So the fixed rates, we have $9.95 to $36 for Avant. For Landing Point, you have a 15 to 36. For One Min Financial, you have a 18 to 36. And for Upstart, you have 8 to 36. Loan amounts range from 2 to 35 for Avant, 2,000 to 25,000 for Landing Point, 1.5 thousand to 1,500 to 20,000 for One Min Financial, and 1,000 to 50 grand for Upstart. And minimum credit score is 550 for Avant, Landing Point 580, none for One Min Financial, and Upstart 580. And you can see the loan terms there. So the bottom line, folks, is that you really have to be strategic when you're looking for a personal loan with little to no credit. And you want to research and compare lenders. Please be sure to compare as many lenders as you can find so that you can get the best loan for you. Consider not only interest rates, but also repayment terms and any fees charged by the lender. Then I want you to pick your loan option. So after comparing lenders, choose the loan option that best suits your needs. And then you want to complete the loan application. So once you've found a lender, you'll need to fill out a full application and submit any required documentation, such as bank statements or pay stubs. All right. If you are applying with no credit history, you might also need to provide your employment history or other information, depending on the lender, and you want to get your loan funds. So if you are approved, the lender will have you sign for the loan so you can get the money quickly. The time to fund for personal loans is typically 1 week or less, though some lenders, such as One Min Financial, will fund loans on the same or next business day after approval. So here is a recap of today's conversation: how to get a personal loan with a little to no credit. Number 1, understand why you don't have a credit score yet and how to generate one. Know your options. Number 2. Number 3, consider specific types of loans. Number 4, avoid some kinds of loans if you can. Number 5, know where to apply for a small personal loans. Number 6, work on establishing credit if you have no credit or little credit. Number 7, consider alternatives to no credit small loans. Number 8, you want to pick the right lender for you. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.